just get the iron now and rank up, but, well, I'm just a wooden boat, and I don't think any wooden boat would dare to try this.
Okay, fine. I'll give it a try then.
Wait, what? Sheep, what are you doing? You're not good enough.
Don't worry. I think I figured out how this whole ice boat thing works. Just watch this.
We've been here for a few hours. There's no way you know how this works already. All right, just take it slow, I guess. Just watch out for the turns and stay on the ice.
That's where you're wrong, my friend. The trick to ice boating is speed and confidence.
Do not go fast. Sheep, do not. No! This is Ice Boat Society, and the thing you have to realize is as soon as your boat touches the ice, you aren't safe anymore. The smallest wrong turn could send you off the ice to your death, and there's no coming back from that. Unfortunately, I just found that out the hard way. The guy who just flew off the ice was the only one I knew in Ice Boat Society, so now I'm all alone. But I have a feeling I'm gonna share that same fate soon, because I'm back on the ice now. And here in Ice Boat Society, walking doesn't exist, which means the only way to survive is to stay on the ice with your boat. And this is where my journey's probably gonna end. This is an ice boat highway, a bridge that's only 3 blocks wide and made completely out of ice. If you want to get around in Ice Boat Society, well, this is the only option you have. That or just stay in one place for your entire life. But since I'm about to starve, that's not an option for me. When you're on an ice boat highway, the only thing you hope for is to not run into anyone, because if you see someone— oh no. Okay, I'm dead. Approaching me from the other side of the highway was an iron ice boat, and they weren't turning around, which means there's only 2 things that could happen. 1, the iron boat and I will slowly try to go around each other to make sure no one gets hit off. Or 2, the bad option. But in that moment, the player in the iron boat rushed into my boat head on. The collision caused my wooden boat to start shaking, and I was trying my best to stay on the ice. Anything could happen now. This was a boat battle. The player swung at me with their fist and caused me to spin out on the ice. But by some miracle, I wasn't falling to my death in the void. I was still on the ice, left with 1.5 hearts and a lot of regrets about joining Ice Boat Society. Yeah, I should probably mention how I even got to Ice Boat Society in the first place. So long story short, a random portal appeared one day leading to an alternate dimension. And this place happened to be filled with a bunch of ice people that only traveled in boats and only traveled on ice. So you're probably wondering why I even went into Ice Boat Society to begin with. Well, the reason for that is because apparently there's treasure there, and that treasure could make me rich, which is what led me to do this. I willingly consent to changing my lower body into a boat. This process cannot be undone. All right, I'm down. Here's the thing you have to realize about Ice Boat Society. It's not just people riding around in boats. People are the boats. So that is why I am now surgically attached to a boat and can never walk again, but I didn't really have much going for me on the outside, so I figured life in Ice Boat Society might be better. Yeah, I was pretty wrong about that. I also didn't know that merging with a wooden boat brought my maximum health down to just 2 hearts. So if by some miracle I don't die by sliding off the ice, I'll die if I get hit 3 more times, or probably by starvation at this rate. I managed to get off the Ice Boat Highway and found myself at an ice boat intersection. Intersections are where people in Ice Boat Society can find different loot. At various times throughout the day, items will appear from the dispenser in the middle, which is actually how I got my very first item in Ice Boat Society just a few hours ago. I had just finished crossing an ice boat highway, and when I got to this intersection, I saw a boat, but this boat had a chest inside of it. And that's when I learned in Ice Boat Society, even chests have their own boats. I opened up the chest and came to the sad conclusion that somebody probably already got all the good items already. The only thing I could salvage was this book, which doesn't really help me with survival, but at the end of the day, it was an item, so now I just gotta work on finding items that will actually help me. The book hasn't been completely useless though. I've been using it to jot down everything I can figure out about Ice Boat Society. This book had some weird writing on the first page. I don't know, some ice boat language maybe. But anyways, I started my notes about Ice Boat Society on the second page. I only have one thing on there right now, and that is that food is hard to catch. So you're saying we just have to wait here?
I'm telling you, I saw a pig spawn.
Alright, well, we've been waiting here for like an hour. My hunger bar's already halfway gone. If something doesn't spawn soon, I'm gonna have to— oh my—
whoa, see, this is what I was saying. I think this is where we're supposed to find food here.
oh my god, you're right. You think these pigs can actually use the boat?
I don't know, maybe. So just be careful, don't scare it.
Yeah, I won't. I'm just gonna try to get close enough so I can break the boat at— oh no, it sees me.
You're fine, I don't think it knows how to drive a boat.
Oh my god, it does. Yo, how is it going so fast?
That's it. I'm not just gonna sit around and starve to death. I'm going after
Oh,
it.
don't go after it. You're not gonna catch it. Oh my god, slow down! So yeah, animals can use ice boats, which is not good. But anyways, next note about Ice Boat Society, getting iron is risky, so I don't think I'll be ranking up to become an iron boat anytime soon. Besides, even if I did do that course to get the iron ingot, the next one's not gonna spawn for another 7 days, so I'm gonna need to figure out how to get food if I'm gonna even get to that point. Alright, back to the ice boat highways we go, I guess. I drove along the ice for a while while until I saw structures form in the distance. These were structures that I was familiar with though. These towers are the houses for people that live in Ice Boat Society. I myself do not have a house yet, but I gotta say it must be nice not having to worry about getting knocked off an Ice Boat highway. Being in the residential area of Ice Boat Society can be a little risky. For starters, there are a lot of intersections, which means there are a lot of corners to turn. And anyone in Ice Boat Society knows that drifting around a corner is one of the scariest maneuvers you can make in this place. Regardless, I have to go back through here if I'm gonna try to find food. I don't really know how the houses work here. I think you have to have some key that you drop into the... Yo, what the... No, wait, a player lives here? Hey, excuse me? I was just wondering how you get a house in Ice Boat Society.
Oh, perfect. You know what? You take this house. I don't need it anymore.
Okay.
I got my iron boat now, and I'm moving on to a better life. And if anyone asks, that is not my son.
That's not your son. Wait, what are you talking about?
Really, Dad? Now that you're an iron boat, you're just gonna leave your family?
Okay, I have a feeling this is definitely his son. Yo, are you a player or are you an ice boat person?
I don't know what a player is, but I was born here.
Right, I forgot ice boat people can't tell the difference between us and them. Wait, but that guy was definitely a player, and if this is his son, who's half ice boat person, oh my god. Well, I now have a house in Ice Boat Society, and it was crazy. It had 2 stories and everything. Apparently in Ice Boat Society, you can only get up to another floor using water. I didn't really know if this kid came with the house or not, but at that moment, he said he was about to take revenge on his father for running out on him and left. Look, it's not my place to get involved in family drama, but I hope he succeeds. Anyways, that entire situation prompted me to write in my journal, do not get in a relationship with an ice boat person. So far, my entire experience in Ice Boat Society has only been on 1 layer, but this was the first time I've ever traveled vertically inside of a boat, or as a boat, I should say. To my surprise, there was actually a chest on the 2nd floor of this house, and it had a spike in it. To be honest, I haven't gotten my hands on that many items in Ice Boat Society so far, so I have no clue if this is good or not. But all I know is that this is not food, so this is not gonna help me currently. Well, my new house is cool and all, but I'm gonna starve soon, so no point in really staying here. Fortunately, this house that I just randomly got happens to be right next to the area where pigs spawn. And when I went outside, I saw that food was available, but I was already too late. An iron ice boat was already chasing the boat pig. Even if I had gotten here in time though, my skills as a wooden boat wouldn't be enough to rival that of an iron boat. Maybe it's because this ice boat person has an iron boat, or it's because they're from this dimension, but either way, the way they drifted and maneuvered their boat across the ice was incredible. I guess if a player is that good, then they deserve to get the food. Wait, what the? Okay, well that food just went to waste. My chances of survival are at an all-time low, so I'm just gonna go this way, because I haven't gone this way in Ice Boat Society before. I traveled down this one ice boat highway for what seemed like hours, and the sun was starting to set in Ice Boat Society. But finally, after losing a few bars of hunger, I saw a structure in the distance. The ice boat highway gave way to a tower with iron blocks on it. I haven't been alive for that long in Ice Boat Society, but I could tell this was a structure that I hadn't seen before. I drove up onto the platform, and it looked like the highway continued right past this tower. For a second, I thought this tower was completely pointless, but that's when I hit an invisible wall. Right when my boat reached the iron blocks on the ground, I couldn't go any further. I couldn't see anything obstructing my way, but there was definitely no way through. Even though I was about to die from starvation and probably had bigger things to worry about, I couldn't help but be curious about what could possibly be beyond this wall. But as I was waiting there, an iron boat just pulled up right next to me and went through the invisible barrier. Okay, I think I understand. So you need to be an iron boat to unlock this section of Ice Boat Society. I have to admit, that sounds pretty cool, but that guy already said that there wouldn't be another iron ingot for another 7 days. I haven't even figured out how to get a single piece of food yet, so I think I just have to accept the reality that I'll never become an iron boat. Yep, I think it's safe to say that I definitely should not have come to this place. Ice Boat Society is a place where no one survives. Even though my chances of survival were pretty much 0, I started making my way back to at least try to get my hands on some food, but that's when I saw someone blocking the ice boat highway. The last boat battle I had cost me half a heart, so who knows what's gonna happen in this one. I got closer to the player, but I realized they had their back turned to me. What was strange is that they weren't in an iron boat, or even a wooden boat. This boat was something that I've never seen before.
I've been waiting for you, Evbo. I've got some intel that might help you on your journey.
Okay, I don't know if I really have much of a journey going on here, but anyways, why?
Just listen to me. Get an iron boat as quickly as possible. If you rank up, you might be able to survive against the ice boat racers.
Yeah, I have no clue what you're talking about. What's an ice boat racer?
Be one with the ice, just as you are one with the boat.
What? What does that even mean? What the? Okay, now I'm having trouble deciding if that interaction was real or not. When I got back, I concluded that that was some weird ice boat hallucination. After all, I haven't had food for hours, so it would make sense. But all of a sudden, an iron boat came speeding in out of nowhere. They hit a smooth drift and stopped right in front of me. Up until this point, I hadn't seen a player with a blue helmet before, and I was a little confused when they started drifting around me. But out of nowhere, the player swung at me with their fist and dealt half a heart of damage. I didn't know who this was, but I was in trouble. I did the only thing I could think to do and went back onto the ice boat highway. But just when I thought I might be outrunning the iron boat, oh my, how is that even possible? I didn't understand why this player was still chasing me. Before this, I thought people wanted to avoid each other on the ice boat highways. But this was different. This player actively wanted me gone. And if I take 2 more hits of damage, that will become reality. I was trying to figure out a way to survive this, but I couldn't think of anything other than run away. This iron ice boat was too fast for me, and I was barely staying on the ice with how fast I was trying to escape. This boat showed no signs of letting up, so I was gonna have to pull something risky if I was gonna get them off my tail, and that risky maneuver was gonna have to be a drift. Okay, I really hope this works. I built up speed, and right before I was about to fall off, I made a sharp turn and barely managed to stay on the edge. Luckily for me, the iron boat failed the drift and got sent flying into the void. Oh, there's no way that just worked. What the?
Not so bad for a wooden boat. If you weren't about to die, I would have asked you to become an ice boat racer.
Oh, no, not again, please. Okay, maybe I wasn't hallucinating and there was a magical boat person that did warn me about ice boat racers, because I think I'm about to die by one. I'm all out of options. I have no health, I have no items, Wait a second. But all I know is that this is not food, so this is not gonna help me currently. Okay, that might be my only option because I think this ice boat highway is coming to a dead end. If I can place the spike on the ice, the racer will either hit the spike or have to go around it. And this just might send them off the edge if I do this correctly. I sped up towards the dead end, but turned my boat around just as I was about to fall off the edge. Okay, in a few seconds, we're gonna find out if this works. Here she comes, and...
What? No! PvP Civ was better than parkour!
Wait, what did she just say? Watch out for ice boat racers is the next note in our journal about Ice Boat Society. I wish I could just record this instead of having to write it all down like a video journal or something. I don't know. Anyways, somehow I'm still alive in Ice Boat Society, but that's about to change because I have 1 hunger bar left. For a moment, it kind of seemed like things were about to work out in my favor. There was a boat pig on the spawner and no one was around here. This was finally my chance to get food in Ice Boat Society. That's what I thought until I remembered the first note I made about this place. No, please, come on. Oh my god. I've never ice boated so fast in my life before, but this time I had to. I couldn't play it safe and focus on staying on the ice. I had to get this food. I had half a heart left and half a hunger bar left, which means if the hunger bar goes, the heart follows. The problem is that the pig wasn't making this easy. Bro, are you serious? Where are you going?
Would you like to do the course to rank up to become an iron boat?
Wait, is the pig gonna become an iron boat? Hold up, I was just here yesterday and you said another iron wouldn't spawn for another week.
And it's the next week. There are 7 weeks in a day, you know.
7 weeks in a... Okay, sure, I'll do it.
I wish you the best of luck.
Wait, this was actually huge. I could get myself food and an iron boat all at the same time. It doesn't look like the pig has anywhere to run to, so as long as the pig can't get the iron ingot, and of course I can stay on the ice, okay, then I might just be able to survive in Ice Boat Society and figure out what's behind that barrier only iron boats can go through. 1 more hit. All I need is 1 more hit and I could get food to survive. Just chill, okay? Don't drive off the... Well, anyways, I managed to get to one side of the course and I found a dispenser with a button next to it. I actually did it. I mean, I'm gonna die from starvation, but I completed the course to become an iron boat. A second later, I hit the button and I now had an iron ingot in my inventory. Within a few moments, I looked down and the iron ingot disappeared and my boat changed. I was now an iron boat, but that's when I realized it wasn't just my boat that changed. All of my hunger and health completely regenerated, and I now had 4 hearts instead of the 2 I had with a wooden boat. Getting an iron boat doesn't just give me access to a new part of Ice Boat Society, but it makes you stronger.
Congratulations on getting your iron boat. You may now explore new areas of Ice Boat Society.
Saying it took a lot to become an iron boat was an understatement. I've watched countless people slide off the ice into the void, knowing any one of them could have been me at some point, but I'm still here. So the question I have now is, was it all worth it? It's hard to tell if it was the iron boat or my confidence as an ice boater, but either way, I was feeling good with my turns and drifts in my new iron boat. boat. I drove over to the tower that I previously could not pass as a wooden boat. Whatever is beyond this tower is a complete unknown to me. Maybe this is the ticket to a better life that I came here searching for. I drove up to the spot where the barrier once was, and sure enough, I could pass through it. Beyond this tower was an iceboat highway that could lead to endless possibilities. I've only been a part of Iceboat Society for just a short amount of time, but who knows how advanced an entire civilization of boat people can get. Alright, let's go. New life begins now. This ice is probably gonna go on for a while, so it's time to get some speed.